Hey everybody, it's Leo with Leo the CEO, and I just came back from Santa Barbara. First and foremost, startup culture down there is ridiculous. If you ever get a chance to swing by, definitely encourage it. Incubators up the wazoo, beaches, beer, startups, tech scene, everything's down there, super cool. Maybe a little bit more sun would have been nice, but other than that, it was an excellent place. But to kick it off, big shout out to Up Global for even having me down there this weekend. All the organizers that put on the summit, it was amazing. Had the time of my life. If you're on the post now, pictures, gallery down at the bottom, little bit of a description, but more than anything, I just want to talk a little bit about what I did down there. So I was down there with a bunch of organizers for what's known as Startup Weekend. If you haven't done a Startup Weekend, you are not an actual boss. Startup Weekend is 72 hours of you going into a room with complete strangers. The only thing you have in common with them is that you're all entrepreneurs, right? So get in there, they start pitching ideas, things they want to start building, things they want to start creating, essentially startup concepts that you're going to have to refine over the next 72 hours. Then after the pitches, you form teams. After the teams are settled, you say hi to everyone, you have a beer, you get some high fives. Then for the next 60 hours, all you got are the resources that you bring to the table in terms of skills, technology aptitudes, anything you can bring onto the team, then you're just off. You're creating a company in roughly 65 hours, and for the really legit guys, you're gonna be able to generate revenue. I know when I did my startup weekend, we went from concept to team formation to kicking ass to making money, and you do that in a 72-hour time span. This is probably the most insane, ridiculous, fun way that you can challenge yourself as an entrepreneur and really see if you got the nads it takes to start your own startup with complete strangers. Now, that being said, to kind of dice things up in the end, they put you in a head-to-head battle with every other startup that started along with you. So we're talking roughly 6 to 8 teams that are competitively going at it to try to win the title for the best startup team out of that startup weekend. So why am I pitching you guys a startup weekend? The biggest thing is if you're new to the startup scene and you really want to get into it full force, this is the quickest way to start bonding with your community in your region, state, country, and really start intermingling with other people who you already know have the resources that it takes to help you in your startup. The other reason I'm pitching it is because for a lot of us, you know, we're constantly running into these, I hate to say it, but so, you know, multi-level marketers, entrepreneurs. There's a lot of really bad words I can't say right now. And what it does is it just frustrates me, and I'm sure a lot of you people watching right now. So this is a way to sit down with complete strangers and no more talk, no more hype, no more predictions and hypothesis and analysis. You sit down and you crush something out. You create something amazing, and I've seen some phenomenal companies come out of a startup weekend. You form teams, you form friendships, you make money. All talk, sorry, no talk, all action. This is one of the best experiences you'll probably ever have in your life, ever. That being said, again, thanks to everyone who put on the Startup Weekend Summit. I'm gonna include more details in the bottom. Really big shout out to People Space out in Irvine. Those cats have got it going on, and they really taught me something valuable about forming a niche and really solidifying what it is to be a dominant power in a select space that you define. So maybe, you know, educational technology, fashion and apparel, fashion forward cotton technology, whatever it is that your niche is, establishing yourself as a really dominant power in that space and really honing in on what you can do in terms of leverage. Big shout out to Santa Barbara Hustlers. Those guys are amazing. If you're ever in the Santa Barbara area, you have got to check them out. We're talking a charity-based workforce that mobilizes themselves to help empower other non-for-profit organizations. I mean, you want to talk about heart and passion and just doing something for the sheer love and devotion to it. Santa Barbara Hustlers is where you want to be, and that's where you want to start interacting to start getting into the startup scene in that area. Also, like I said, Up Global, I'm going to put their link down below, but if you haven't already, you have to go to one of their startup weekends. Otherwise, you're just not legit. Other than that, had one of the best weekends of my life. A lot of partying, a lot of drinking, a lot of having fun, meeting new people. Everyone that came up from Seattle, Colorado, Canada, Greg, and everybody else down in San Diego, out in San Francisco. It was amazing meeting everyone. And like I said, startup weekend, that's where you want to be. Other than that, big shout out to everyone else that I missed, and for that reason, oh, by the way, behind me, one of the coolest theme parks you'll ever get to visit. If you ever come down here to Southern California, which everyone from Startup Summit should, coolest places behind me. For legal reasons, I'm not allowed to say what theme park it is, you know what I'm saying? But it's driving me nuts. You know what I'm saying? And other than that, open invitation to anyone who came to the summit. If you're ever down here in Los Angeles or in the Orange County area, hit me up. We'll do startup stuff. We'll make stuff happen. But yeah, Leo with Leo the CEO, and I will catch you all later. Hey everyone, this is Leo with Leo the CEO, and I just came back from my weekend in Santa Barbara. Excellent place, lots of startups. That's how I wake up in the morning.